Okay, good afternoon, good evening. Whatsoever you are joining at this time, I want to say welcome to the Exchange. The Exchange is 1 hour, 30 minutes program. On today's edition of the Exchange, we are here with the Exchange Social Hour. So today we will be discussing the topic on a discussion, early child marriage. We have people in defense that are going to say, yes, early child marriage is good. And we also have people that are going to say, no, early child marriage is not good. So today we hope that you get close to your monitor wheresoever you are following us, so that you can be part of the discussion tonight. So on tonight discussion, we are having our set of panelists that's going to be debating on the topics or presenting their IQs on the topic tonight. So before we can get into the discussion, we're going to ask our panelists to introduce themselves. We're going to be starting with uh, chairman. Chairman, we're going to be starting with the chairman there. Chairman Rennie will introduce himself, and then we go to Princess. From Princess, then the ball can keep rolling. So, Chairman, welcome to the show. Chairman, you have to unmute. You have to unmute, Chairman.
Okay. Feel excited again to be a part of the program, to have my thoughts and listen to my colleagues' thoughts on the topic. And we're going to have a good and constructive argumentation here today. And I look forward to having these points laid out properly and hoping to have a fruitful and better discussion. Yeah, so I'm Chairman Rennie Arakanen, and I'm happy to be here again, folks. And I always available to give you guys authentic information from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. We're going to listen to Annie. That's it, not Annie, but Princess. We're going to take Princess, for now, we'll take Annie. For Annie, then we can take Daniel.
Okay, thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, sure, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. For the benefit of those who are listening about whatever means, I'm Princess H. Williams, or Liberian based in India, to be precise, Punjab State, Ludhiana, and I'm studying B Farm in Baba Fari College of Pharmacy, Molapur District. And thanks so much for granting me the opportunity to share my thoughts as it relates to the topics on the discussion tonight, early child marriage. I hope that you all give your own divided attention as we go through this fascinating topic tonight. Thank you once again. My name remains the same, Princess H. Williams. Thank you.
Okay, you just listen to Princess there. We're going to take Annie, for Annie to give her introduction as well.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, everyone, for having me on the show tonight. My name is Annie Ross, studying agriculture in India and Liberia. Thank you so much, and we will be discussing the topic editor marriage. I hope you stay tuned to enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the voice of Annie that introducing herself. We're going to get to Legon. Then we're going to jump directly into the show tonight. I promise you tonight's show is going to be fascinating. So then listen to Legon.
Okay, thank you ever so much.
You have to remove, I think you have two devices on. You have to mute one of them. Yeah, I think it's better now.
Hello? I don't know what's
Yeah, you
happening.
have to mute. You have two devices on at the same time. Daniel, you have to remove one of them. Thank you. You have already removed the other one. You can proceed.
Okay, sorry, was some technical problem in audio phones. Sorry for that. Again, my name is, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our followers and our regular viewers who follow us from different part of the world. Let me say good evening from my end and good morning to your end or good afternoon to your end. The name remain constant, Daniel God's favor Lincoln. The second, a student of the Chantan DW University, majoring in microbiology and strong emphasis in biotechnology and chemistry. You know, it's always a pleasure and an opportunity given to us to sit on the platform to share our knowledge with all of our friends around the world. And today's topics, I believe and get a hope that it will be fascinating, educative, and so forth. So thank you for joining us, and thank you to everyone. We're looking forward to have a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Like I told you from the concept of the discussion today, we're gonna be looking at the topic early child marriage. We're gonna be looking at specifically Liberia. Liberia is gonna be our case study because most of the things now we are doing, we are focusing on Liberia. So most of our examples and we're gonna be giving here today, we're gonna be looking at Liberia, using Liberia as a case study. As so whether early child marriage in Liberia is good. One side is going to tell you what are the benefits of getting married early in Liberia as a child, and what come after if you're going to get married as a child in the early stage. So today we're going to turn over the pendulum to those that are defending the side who states early child marriage is beneficial and is good. We must go into it. So we're gonna listen to the first speaker from that. Either Princess is going to take on that, or Rennie is going to take on that to give us their first take on that.
Elijah, I think in a way, but I think for us, we are saying yes, early childhood is.
Okay, yes, okay. Legal, and Honey is defending the proposition who says that early child marriage is good. So we will be listening to Legon first. Legon, you can come from there. You guys can lay the film.
Okay, thank you again to our host, Mr. Elijah or Dr. Elijah Dennis, and to all of my fellow panelists on the show this evening. Chairman Rennie, I salute you. Princess, I salute you. Annie Rod, I salute you as well. You know, it's always a great pleasure to be among fellow young people to interchange ideas. So we will be talking shortly and we give a few points on the topic that says early marriage, right? So if you look at the word, I want to set the basic, right? When they use the word early marriage or early child marriage, it doesn't mean that underage marriage. Early marriage is different from underage marriage. Now, let me set the premise when it comes to early age or ages. 18, 20, 21, up to 30, they are all early stages in life because there are various type of ages or youthful age. Early ages, they range from 14 to 34 or from 18 to 35. These are the two basic set of ages for youth. So if you use the word early marriage, It doesn't mean we are all or we are supporting teenage marriage. Like the guy is 12 years old or the boy is 12 years old and gets into marriage. No. So let me make that clear. Now to the topic, early marriage. When you look at or you understand the topic early marriage, number one, an early marriage gives much more chance to not only work on the relationship, but it also work out of it and start a fresh in case of failures. What does that phrase mean? Early marriage, it builds you as an individual, be a man or woman. It builds you as an individual. It makes you understand the terms and the things and the pros and the cons of marriage. It helps you to understand properly how marriage works. Even if you fail in that leg, you marry at the age of 18 or 21, and then at the age of 24, 25, it doesn't work out for you. It still gives you the edge of getting married another time. It still gives you the edge to get married to another person. What a man or woman still give you the chance to get another partner. So early marriage help you to build a perfect relationship. We'll look at few key things in early marriage. I don't want to go deeply into religions because I'm not full with that capacity to go into religions. But we'll look at the physical or the social aspect of it or the realistic part of life. First thing first, there is no perfect time for marriage. To say, oh, the marriage age is from 30 years to 60 years, or marriage age is from 60 to 80, or marriage age is from 10 to 14. No, there is no perfect age. The perfect way to get married is decision making. You have to understand, you have to form, you have to know the pros and the cons, you have to know the difficulty, the advantage in marriage before taking that bold decision. Right? Before getting into early marriage or before getting into marriage, you have to understand what it means to, because marriage for the biblical aspect is a livelihood or covenant. It's a livelihood covenant. You enter into livelihood covenant. That's what I say, forever and ever, or for better, for worse. So these are the things we should understand in marriage before getting into marriage. And two, when you have many other stuff, it helps us from getting into too much relationships, too much outside partnerships. Like for example, I'm a very young guy and I have more than 7 to 8 girlfriends. Or there's a very young girl who have more than 7 to 8 boyfriends. Early marriage prevents you from having multiple partners. Early marriage prevents you from having multiple, it even save us from contacting some sexual transmitted infection or diseases like HIV and AIDS, like the syphilis, like the gonorrhea, and so on and so forth, right? And the best from statistics, the best age of getting married is the 20s. In your 20s, 21, from 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. In your 20s is the best age of getting married. Reason being is that if you get married in between that ages, you have the best alternative if your marriage fails. If your partner doesn't like you or doesn't feel comfortable within that marriage, it still give you a better room of getting into another marriage, right? And there are so many potentials, right? Marriage protects us from sexual immorality. Sexual immorality. Early marriage help us to prevent us from these kind of things. You will not have multiple sex partners. You won't have multiple relationships. You will be who you are. You will stand for your ground. And early marriage to build us. It builds us for our future. in our homes. It builds us for our future. And marriage is also one of the greatest gifts given to us by God. That's why in the Bible, God made Adam, and later he know that there is no way a man can survive without a woman right now. So he created Eve, the Eve gender. He created them and placed them with us because that's one of the greatest gifts. If you look in the Bible, right, you see almost all of the greatest men in the Bible.
Hello. Yeah. So the show. Yeah. Just you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ligon. I think the show is actually moving to another level, right? You listen to Ligon there giving his stance on early child marriage, telling you what are some of the fair benefits with that when an individual get married at the early age, right? So you listen to him giving his points and saying a lot of things that it will help you to be committed. It will help you to stay away from some sexual transmitted infection. Well, we don't know, but let's dig deeper. Let's give the pendulum over to his counterpart and let's listen to them what they're going to say from their in their defense. We're going to be having cross-pollinated questions after his counterpart comes up with their defense. Then we're going to get back to them again to listen to them from their own perspective. Before that, let's get to Rennie. Rennie, what is your takes? You are telling me that early child marriage is better, it's okay. Let's listen to you and Princess from that perspective.
Let Princess come in, then I will proceed behind. Please.
Rennie, thanks for giving me the privilege to at least propound. Thanks again. The name remains the same. I'm Princess H. Williams, a Liberian based in India. And for the topics on the discussion tonight, we are discussing early child marriage. Fellow listeners, I'm here to discourage you about early child marriage. First, I want to look at early child marriage. We are talking about both male and female, a person that has reached the age of 18 or is 18. When you are 18, let's look at the African setting. When it comes to marital affair, you are not fully enough to make decisions of your own. Definitely, if you get into marriage, that one number one disadvantage is that it forces you into early responsibilities. That is, it forces you into early parenthood, and which of course is wrong. There are too much abuse in early marriage, mostly for girls, children. If you get married at your early age, definitely your right is very limited as a female. Definitely every decision from your end has to be taken by your guy that you are married to, and which of course is wrong. Early child marriage leads to TH pregnancy, and we are talking about TH pregnancy. The female is not mature enough to carry out their fetus. Definitely it leads to death or doing childbearing and what have you. So when it comes to early child marriage, it has a lot of negative side effects on the society. It leads to poverty ranking that makes poverty rate very high. It leads to violence or violence against women and children, because the guy is going to be like, I'm married her, and then definitely her birthright belongs to me. Getting married at the early age, definitely you are selling your birthright to this individual. It could be a male, it could be the female, but definitely on the average, because it's kind of very powerful female. You are going to be abused, too much violence, early responsibility, early child bringing unwanted pregnancy, not desiring it. So these are too many negative side effects of early child marriage. I hope
you listen to her there. Yeah, sure. We are getting your point. Yeah. Sure, you are audible. You are audible. You are audible.
Yes. Okay, and secondly, it limits your level of education when it comes to the society. And the society is not all about what they can give you, but it's all about what you can give to the society positively. As a female, when you get into marriage as an early stage, you are going to come with too many responsibilities. That is childbearing. You have to cater to that child. That is financially or morally, going educational wise, health status, and what have you. Because you can't put on a child and just dash the child. You have to attend to it. Definitely, you become a parent before your time. Definitely, you are leading to becoming like a baby by chance and not by choice, because the man decide to have a child, and being a woman or married to this guy early, you have to bring forth. It's on 50-50 chances there, even in childbearing. So if you are God advising your child to put into an early marriage, definitely you are risking her life. That's number one when it comes to childbearing. Number two, you are abusing her. Number three, you have to look at the violence against women and children, because some men are very violent when it comes to the relationship aspect. So you have to take all these things into consideration. I pause there and then I get more from my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. You listen to her. You listen to her. Bringing a lot of points that early child marriage. Uh, Daniel, just have to mute. Once you mute, you can get.
Okay. To some of our points, right? There is no way you will get married, because marriage is not forced, right? I said this from the previous stage when I was beginning my few points, when I was about to say my few points. I said this and I'll reiterate. Marriage is decision making, one. Two, marriage is not early marriage is not about teenage marriage. I said that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What
Daniel.
I tell you that 1 minute.
Yeah, Daniel. Wait. Get the question here. Get the question. She said early child marriage bring about teenage pregnancy, and she also telling us that early child marriage bring about financial burdens. It brings about baby by chance, not by baby by chance, not by choice. So,
Yes,
what is the response to that?
I was going there, right? Or I cannot be married and have a baby by chance. No, you can't get married and have baby by chance. Marriage, one of the fruitful things in marriage, all other things are other advantage, but childbearing is the number one thing in marriage. All other things that other advantage, like having properties, doing this, buying cars, buying this, they are all other advantage. The Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." In marriage, there is nothing. The making marriage. Let's get this straight. Women or men don't go into marriage because he will gain money for that woman or he will get property from that woman. The man going to marry because he feels satisfied and believes that that woman can bear fruit his children. So there is no way you will tell me or tell the audience that early child, or early marriage bring about unwanted pregnancy. No. Now, secondly, before a man gets married, he makes the decision from his mind that I think I'm responsible or I'm ready to hold my home. Let me set an example on my sister back home in Liberia. If she's watching, she gets married at an early stage. And now if you view her marriage, there is so many love, affection. Sometimes I say that I can say, yeah, I think I have to follow my sister footsteps in her marriage. Right? Because you see togetherness. That's why marriage, you have to make a decision. You have to make a
decision. Daniel, how do you respond to the aspect when you talk about early child marriage bringing about financial burden? There are a lot of financial burden in every child marriage. How do you respond to short? After that question, going to get into the
Elijah, before you get to raining, let me hit on that a bit. I may not be 100%, but financial planning, even if you man, you 50 years old, you 70 years old, marriage has its own disadvantages. Marriage as a whole, whether you money man, you poor man, there is always problems, but the problem will be resolved. Right? Even the ants on the ground can find food to eat. What about we the human being? We will get food to eat. So that financial constraint, the man is not just getting married and start bearing children. No. Marriage is planning. That's what I said. You have to plan before you get into marriage. A 17 or 18 years old boy or 19 years old girl or 20 years old woman can get into marriage with a proper planning and that marriage be fruitful. Thank you.
Thank you. You listen to
Okay,
Jonathan making his point, and I will quickly turn over to the opposite side to hear from them. Now, the issue is you are raising a point
When you guys
where
don't
you are
mute,
saying you are telling you that Daniel, you have to mute. Now you are raising a point. You guys are raising a point that early child marriage bring about financial burden. So, are you convincing us, telling us that we must be financially equipped before we go into marriages?
Again, Elijah, let me hold you there and come in, please. The issue of early child marriage, I wanting us to get one thing straight here. Early child marriage, what brings about early child marriage in our setting today, mostly like Bureau, traditional form, like say, like the cultural setting, what have you brings about these things. And then number two things is lack of financial strength from the parents that is lacking support when it comes from your parents. Let's assume like a family that is describing, sorry for the expression, a family that is describing and then oh God, so we say in our Labrador language, or sugar daddy, as our girls may claim to be. And then you get this guy coming in with money, helping the family and what have you. Definitely, your family would be like, "This is our heaven sent. This is our divine helper that God has sent our way." And then, if this guy have an interest in this girl, the family is not going to seek her interest here, but better still, they are going to seek their own personal interest. So these are things you look at that brings about early child marriage. And once that person gets involved into it, definitely every decision in that womb going to be taken by the men. And definitely, if the man brings up a child bearing, the girl will not oppose it. That's one thing you should look at. The girl will not oppose it because in that home, she's now under the influence of her parents and that of the husband, which she claimed to be married to. So these are factors that lead to early child marriage. These are dangers that comes about. Child spacing and that of prevention of pregnancy is not going to be there because the man is making every decision and the girl is doing things out of her will. That's why child or early child marriage brings about violence. There are too many violence involved in early child marriage. So definitely you are going to get baby by chance in that identical marriage, and there's nothing about proper
Yeah.
planning in that marriage when it comes to child bearing.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me come there because you kept stressing on the point of violence in relationship in early child marriage. But nowadays, most of the marriages that have been conducted or maybe people who are in 40, 50, whatsoever you might call them, we call them these days are Sunday married and Monday divorce. What are some of the causes of marriage breaking apart these days? Renee?
The issue of marriage breaking apart, sorry that I'm too into this. Yes. The issue of marriage breaking apart these days is because let me tell you, there's a lot of relationship or marriages today. There are too many smarty faces on a broken heart. Yes, marriages these days people go for first impression. The guy met me today, he started to shower me with love and perfection, and I feel that this guy is a heaven sent, he's my all in all. Definitely once the guy proposed, you find out the girls are falling for it. And the second thing is that people are doing these things because they feel that they are aging gradually. Or a lady will say, oh, we are in the same community, my friends are getting married, and I'm aging, I have to get off the market. That's their mindset. So they are going for marriage not because they desire it. Some people will say, oh, my friends are getting married, I need to get married. This guy showered me with too much love from the earlier stage, so definitely he's going to continue it. And they are forgetting to know that marriage is a lifetime process and commitment. So these are factors. Once you enter into the marriage, the man seems not stop presenting these things. Definitely, you are going to come up with second option. Then the divorce come in the picture right away.
Good. Let listen to Annie. Annie just joined the show. Annie, welcome. Welcome to the disco.
Thank you, Ila. Facing problem.
Annie, if you are speaking, you are mute. You just have to unmute. Welcome to the
Yeah,
disco.
my network giving problem. What happening?
Yeah, you are much better now. Let me hear you from there. You are much better.
Okay. So when we talking about early marriage, why I supported early marriage or why I supporting early marriage is because early marriage is important somehow in the society. For a young lady, right? For a young girl at the age of 20, 21 upward, early marriage makes you mature as a young lady. It brings up your maturity, and it also stop you from like going around. At least if everyone was like doing early marriage, we couldn't have like a lot of prostitutes in the streets. Our sister is going to be going in the streets like to do hook up because everybody have like someone to to talk to, and you won't tell me as a married woman you will still go out there to do like things that other free people doing. So I support early marriage very well. I support early marriage.
Yeah, and then before you can drop that point, you catalog a few things that early child marriage will limit the issues of prostitutions there. So my question to you is because people are not getting married at the early age, that's the reason why we have more people in the prostitution, or is because of lack of
Elijah,
early marriage is the reason that people are not committed to their relationship, is what you are saying?
sometimes it happen. It not even sometimes, but it happen in our society right now. It happening. So like if you allow your child or your sister or your daughter like friend, you encourage them in early marriage, I don't think all those things will happen. Like prostitution rate will go down. I didn't say it will leave the market for good, but at least the prostitution rate will go down because everybody will be like, I'm a married. You want to say that you say, oh, I'm a married woman, so let me go and do this one, do that one. So
Yeah,
I believe
Annie, yeah. What Princess said, early child marriage comes about because some family are financially not strong, so they decide to
yeah,
give their children in marriage at the early age to get that financial stability. What do you have to say to that?
I receive with her, right? Because like I don't believe 100% in tradition, right? I don't believe
Is
hundred
the question?
percent in
Listen, the question
tradition,
is
but at least the
hello. The
little one
question.
I know and I understand. Also state that that's why you see some culture, the people like they put their child into early marriage because so many reasons. So I reason with her.
Good. You listen to Annie giving a point there. Let's turn over to Rennie. Rennie, what is your stand?
Ah, I sat patient and listened to my colleagues making some strong points, especially from my brother Daniel. Yeah. So these points are cardinal, right? But then let's stick to the topic because I heard you posing question to me, and then Princess tried to debunk the question was violence in marriage. No, we're not discussing violence in marriage. We're discussing early child marriage, right? So violence in marriages or violence in a person marriage is different from early child marriage, right? So let's stick to the topic and then and have a good discourse. All right. So child marriage is something that have been practiced over the years. I can say over decades by our forebearers coming to our parents, grandparents generation, and then our generation, right? It's something that the African culture have been promoting, right, time in, time out, because at that back then, they never had a knowledge on whether the girl child could be schooled properly or whether the girl child could have certain level of thinking before push her into another man's life, right? The parents were ignorant of that, right? So they make some bad choices for the girls' children, right? So that's why you will see most of the times every one of us here parents to tell that we should not put our hands into things that will not be able to backfire, right? They're not talking about something different. They're talking about what early child marriage. They're talking about what impregnating a girl in her teen age. So when you're talking about child marriage, it's not something to say, oh, we should debunk that because the Bible say that a child should get married and man shall leave his a mother and father home to go find a wife. No, and then the other person will say he will find a wife, find a good thing. No, we're not on that, right? So what we're saying is this: early child marriage is very, very much bad coming to this generation in our society. We're not speaking about things that happened in the past. What happened in the past has to deal with the past. Let it live with the past and let the past deal with the past, right? We're speaking about the future, right? In this modern world, you cannot look at 18-year-old girl, right? And then somebody who, let's say, a background, right, at the age of, they just gave a random number, at the age of 29, 30, right? He taking this 17 years old, 16-year-old girl and then going to a parent and asking for a hand in marriage. It's something that is not actually good, right? We all know for one fact that there are tribes in Liberia, right, that promote early child marriage, right? Even my tribe, from, right, we promote early child marriage, right? I don't promote it, but my tribe promote early child marriage, right? The Mandingo tribe promote early child marriage, right? The Fula tribe promote early child marriage, and others and some other tribes, right? Because they were ignorant to the fact that back then, right? They never knew that the girl's children or the girl child should be schooled properly and have a high level of IQ before sending her into another man's home, right? Yeah. So coming up and saying that it has nothing to do with or whether the girl child is young. Once a child is under 18, once the child is under 18, it's them as early child marriage. But if the child, I repeat, if the person gets married at age 19 and above, it's not early child marriage. No. Because under the law, they will tell you that 18 and below are not to do certain things, right? They're not to drink alcohol, they're not to drive, they're not to do certain things, right? But as soon as you hit the age 19, they refer to you as well as young adult, right? Going up to 20, 21, 22, 23. So we are not advocating for those. We're not advocating for those. Princess and I, right? We're adding our voices together. We're not advocating for those who are 19, 20, 21, 22, and then they get into marriage and then they're facing their own constraint. Then question people pose to us and saying we should answer why they poverty into that marriage. No, we're not discussing marriage in general, folks. You gotta understand. Those radio land, those are watching through the internet, you gotta understand we're discussing what the child marriage, right? Yeah, child marriage. If you even put the word early one side, right? Child marriage, right? Once a child is below 18, that 18 and below, right? It's not supposed to be done. There are some tribes that even go as far as giving the girl child out at age 13. It's not actually good. There are some families that are the child will be at age at age 4, 5, and then the man who looking for that, who waiting for that girl child to turn in what teenage, right? We go and start engaging the parent. When this child grow, I want the child to be my wife, right? I want her to be my entire wife, right? But then looking at what the educational system right now, right? There are some Fulanis, there are some Mandingos, there are some bad people Mende, right? They are well educated now. So nowadays they will not look at their child not being well educated and then send it into another man's home to say, oh, okay, go and marry the man, right? Because it comes with so many Princess said, it comes with so many disadvantages. I call Daniel and those that listening out there, right? Come with so many disadvantages, right? You have the domestic violence in your home. There are sometimes that child will not even want sex, and then through the process of how you call it making love, you have to what? You have to hurt her. You have to do so many things. And when you're doing the whole entire child marriage, you gotta understand the person that you're dealing with is not somebody actually that is so solid that you can say, okay, they can think properly and they can manage the home. You, the man, still have to be what, nurturing that girl child. You, the man, still have to be what. It's just that you putting a student in a school. That's how I see the whole child marriage thing. I don't know about other people, but that's how I see it. Yes, those that follow you folks. How I see the whole entire child marriage thing. Just a school, right? You nurture, and it's not supposed to be that way, right? You're supposed to look for your age group, look for somebody mature enough to go after, right? And then I hear my brother Lincoln. It's so sad. I hear my brother Lincoln saying that his sister is enjoying her marriage. We're not discussing about his sister, bro. For real, we're not discussing about his sister. We're discussing about those guest children who have been blatantly how you call it facing domestic violence in their homes, right? Who not able to end education. They were what? They were stopped out because people kind of ask for a hand in marriage, right? I had a classmate back in high school who had a dream to become how you call it to become HR. The other one had a dream of becoming a pilot, right? They had to stop in 10th grade, right? Because the family thought that their body size will enable them to have a perfect partner. They send them out, and now they are facing constraints. She'll come on and one after the other. I'm facing this, you see. So it brings in so many problems. It's not only the issue of domestic violence, it brings in what in managing the home. That child will not be able to manage the home, right? It will not be able to manage the home, right? So therefore, to conclude, I will tell you that between the age 18 to let's say they can take it 12. So let's say from 18 to 12, right? When you get into a child life like that, it's not actually a marriage, but our child marriage. It's not supposed to be that way, right? It's not supposed to be that way. I'm totally against it, and my colleague here, Princess on the show, totally against it, right? So I'm hoping that as we go ahead, I will give some series of examples. You guys will be able to scrutinize properly and know that what I'm saying, what Princess and I will be saying, we'll be speaking about the facts and to the issue, right? That put it one side, that put it side one side, right? My young man, your sister is enjoying it. I will repeat for you to hear it. Your sister is enjoying it. At that time, she get what? She got a man. And I don't think she was on age when she did that. I don't think you can prove it. You can prove it.
Benny,
if you are on age, you will not back down. You will not back down. I know you to be a good young man, Chief. You will not back down. Because I know why you back down, because the man keep you a lot of cameras. I know you must.
No, let me.
Okay, good. Let us put it on the show. Wait. You have to wait. Rennie was in a word. I have to ask you some few questions so that we can proceed with the show. Rennie, we're going to come back to you. Daniel, we'll come back to you. You have to wait. Let's be patient and have some protocol and have some understanding on the show. So the issue is, Daniel, let's have some protocol on the show. So we don't want to like.
You don't want to give me a chance.
Daniel,
you don't want to give me a chance. You don't want to give me a chance.
Okay, come from there. What you say?
Yeah, this is a show now, so we have to make the show very much interactive. We are not forcing or we are not arguing. We are putting some points together. So if you see, I'm trying to come in. You are just the host now. Though we respect that and you are the one regulating the show, we have to put some things in order, right? Now, to Rennie, my brother, I said this from the previous stage. I always lay basics before going further. I distinguish between teenage marriage and early marriage, right? You can be 18, 19, 20, 21, and this is still an early marriage. are totally against teenage marriage, which says from below 18 years, are totally against these kind of marriages. What they get at 14, 12.
There is no need to argue because you already help us. You help Princess and I, right? You have helped Princess. You know how you help us. You help us because the question the topic we're discussing is what child marriage. When we're discussing child marriage, we're discussing.
Daniel, we are listening to you. Come on, what you say? Daniel, you're in a war.
And that from there, my sister was around the age of 21. And her fiancé is around the age of 25, 26.
Okay, Daniel, you have time. You have time to ask the opponent question. You will have time to ask the opponent question. You will have time to ask the opponent question. Let's have the discourse moving. Let us not drag on one issue, right? Let us not hold things on one issues and go back and forth with it. So the questions to Chairman Rennie, how do you respond to the fact that early child marriage is going to bring let's say what we call a lot of responsibility, financial responsibility on the child?
The financial responsibility has nothing to do with that female child. That female child will only be how you call that. I just call that whole entire stuff. I just call that she will just be molested in the home, right? It has no financial. The financial responsibility will be on the man because the guy knowing for the way that let me put other people's scenario aside. Let me say example myself, right? Okay, I know for the weather, I know myself and I know my IQ, everything, right? And I go look at 12-year-old child and say, okay, I want to marry the 12-year-old child, right? But I'm financially stable at this stage. I'm financially stable, right? And I go after that. The financial burden has nothing to do with that female, to be honest, right? That little girl has no financial stuff because the guy will use the money. He already used the influence, the money. You know, money brings influence, right? So he already used the influence of that cash, right? People in our society we call it cash violence, right? We already use the cash violence and bring the girl on board, go pay direct money, even give it. When these people doing child marriage, you guys gotta follow it up. Because when they're doing it, they will not pay the correct directly, they'll pay essence. They will not pay the exact, they'll pay essence, right? In that essence, there are so many things that come in. That little girl, in the first place, as soon as that whole entire drinking of palm wine and eating of cola nut is done, right? Because it's a key thing there, right? And then they find a ring, they put on the girl finger right there. That parent had no access to that child. Whether that man kicking that girl in the home, that man blowing that girl for what? For sex or for cleaning the home properly. Whereas she's not fully mature, they may use money violence. I everything is okay. I'll give you $60 US. Let go in the room. When she failed to do so, now they play the violent kind of before you will start stepping or start kicking or start putting on in. So that all thing that.
Okay, let's listen to your counterpart. What is your claims to all of the things that Chairman Rennie and Princess have said? We start with Annie and that of Daniel.
Rennie, what Rennie is saying, I disagree with part of the part he said of abusing the child, like in a marriage. Even the abusing everywhere. Even like 50-year-old woman can get married and she can be abused in a marriage from day one of that marriage. So it all over. It happened on both sides. So you can't say, oh, if you marry a teenager, they will abuse the child. It happened everywhere. You will see 45 years old making or 40-year-old woman or 30 years old woman. It happening in our society right now. So you can say married teenager or they will abuse the child, they will do this. It's happening. Once the person abusive, even they marry like 40 to 50, they will say beat on her.
Daniel, you can come from there.
Married teenager will make you to like abuse child and do this, do that. It happening all over. It happening everywhere.
Okay. Thank you to my colleague, Annie Rod. Elijah, somehow I want to feed this each other when because you keep cutting my microphone, and it is now called for me. You know, sometimes, some points I want to stress on when you cut it off. I can feel somehow and everyone doesn't want to talk on it. But how be it is a show and we have to move, we have to make the show going. To my good friend Rennie, we should stop stressing only on domestic violence. We're using Labrador as a case study, right? Am I right, Dr. Dennis?
Yeah, sure. We are using Liberia.
Very good. How many times from Liberia have we ever heard of young or early marriage like a boy? For me, I'm not only looking at 16, 12 years old because I'm not characterizing them as they are all totally against these kind of marriages. 12, I will say it and I will say it again. This is a show. So record will hold me. I'm totally against very teenage. For early marriage, we use the word early. My brother Rennie, early. I can be 20 years old. That's an early age. 20 years old, 21 years old. These are all school age. These are all schooling age for we young people. And I can still get into marriage and succeed. The world is advanced right now. And every country has rules and regulations when it comes to domestic violence. If you think most countries now taking women right very seriously. When the woman you hear in marriage, other elderly marriage in between 60 years old and 40 years old. When a man does something wrong to the woman, especially when it comes to sexual intercourse, when she carry that complaint to the court or to the police station that I was not in favor of this and my husband did this to me, that man will face the full weight of the Lord. So me, I'm totally in favor of early marriage, but not teenage or baby marriage. I will call that baby marriage. Because I said, excuse me, early marriage helps us. It helps us to come against immorality. Having multiple partners going into from one relationship to another relationship, it helps us from that. Early marriage in a young age, it stopped us. Now you can see that HIV and AIDS is all around the world. If you have a very good partner in an early stage, it prevents you from having any form of sexually transmitted infections or diseases. Early marriage built you. Now, there is no way you say in a word, every marriage is successful. No way. Even if at the early stage you get married and the marriage doesn't work out and you divorce, it teaches you another lesson to build another fruitful relationships. People get a saying that says you learn from your mistakes, right? That's why before people get into marriage, you have to have the decisions. You have to look at what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages in marriage. You don't just go into marriage or peer pressure marriage. Oh, because like Rennie was saying, somebody saw their friend getting married and I want to get into that kind of life. You will never succeed in that kind of marriages. You will never succeed because you did not go there willingly. You went there because you saw people entering into this kind of marriage. But when you sit to your house or you sit that in your sound conscious mind and follow all of these rules and get ideas and advices from other people and watch, you will get into successful marriage. Very successful. I told you and you said something. My sister and her husband, I did not call them my brother and sister because of the kind of relationship we have built. They are like an example to me in their marriage. They are like an example to me in their marriage. I follow the marriage keenly. Mr. Wisa and his
Okay.
wife.
Okay.
They start, let me just conclude on that. They started from a scratch. Now, if you monitor the marriage, you will feel like, yes, this is a perfect way of getting into. One, there is no magical partner. One, love and affection. Two, togetherness in the marriage. Three, two of them have a set of children. You never in any marriage, you never see getting chasso. You always have a perfect set of children. So I'm in favor of early marriage, but I totally disagree and deviate from teenage or young baby marriage. I totally deviate from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. If you are listening to us by this time, I want to say welcome to the Exchange. The Exchange is here to know the Exchange Social Hour, and the topic on the discussion is early child marriage. As you are listening to our panelists today displaying on the topic, yes, early child marriage is good. Somebody said no. Look, wait. Oh, early child marriage is not good because we need a lot of protection. We need this, we need child this, we need child that. So you are listening to them. Whatsoever you are following, I want to say welcome to the Exchange. And before then, this question is going to the both party, right? And each and every one of you have to answer in relations to the questions. My first question here is, what is the probability of early child marriage holding? For those of you who are saying that early child marriage is good, what is the probability, and what are some benefits that comes after the marriages, and what is the probability of to those who are saying it's not good to marry at the early age? What are the probability as well for those marriages after them to hold? And what are some benefits? So we're going to start with those who are saying early marriages is good. Early child marriage is good.
I think my partner can come in, then I will just address her later. We can move on. So, Annie. Okay, since Annie, I think Annie is facing some problem that will come in. As I said, the benefit and the probability. You know, in life, marriage as a whole, not every marriage whole. Let's get that straight, right? So I'm not saying 100% that alone you enter into early childhood marriage, your marriage will succeed. No. Even those who enter into late marriage, not every marriage succeed. But the probability is that.
Ligon, my question is, what is the probability?
You said probability.
What is the probability of early child marriage holding then getting married very late? What is the probability?
Yes, the probability is that number one, you will start to understand from the early stage. Understanding will come from the marriage, love and affection, togetherness, proper future planning. Right? If I enter into early childhood marriage, we will understand our future. We will plan for the next 5, 6, 7 years. We will plan for our children. We will plan for our children and our grandchildren. It helps to bring togetherness. It brings more excitement. It shows good example. And as I told you I will always say that, right? Early marriage also prevent us. For that reason, you will see that the marriage will continue to hold, most especially when the two partners agree and then the two partners love each other so dearly. It lasts. Maybe the thing that can separate them is dead. But the probability of getting married at the early stage is very, very huge. You see that most often now you see these days young people celebrating 50 years, 25 years, 14 years, 26 years marriage. They did not start yesterday. They started at the early stage. Most 40 years old and 50 years old men who got married 3 years ago celebrating 40 years of marriage. It won't work. but they started somewhere in the 90s. They passed through these tough times. And in arranged marriage, right? In arranged marriage, you understand that the partners will understand the struggle, the test of time they pass through. You see that they did that kind of situation comes before them. They know the solution already. They know how to conquer these kind of problems. So arranged marriage have so many advantages that will help us in the process. Thank you.
We think all depended on to Princess to come up with their own comments on that.
Thank you again, Elijah. Can you please repeat your question there?
The question is, what is the probability of getting married early be successful than early child marriage? What is the sources? What is the probability? And what are some benefits that comes with people getting married at not in the early stage?
The benefit is that if you get married at the right age, you understand your marital affairs, you know how to deal with it, and some challenges in marriage, like when it comes to childbearing and settling of some marital issues, you will know definitely how to deal with it. But going into marriage at the early age or teenage marriage, you are not making decision of your own. You are under the influence of the guy. These are things you should take into consideration. Getting married at an early age is like selling your birthright. Because everything that guy said, definitely you are going to do just as he says to you. So it's not a point for you to get married earlier, more especially for teenager, because you are not in the right state of mind when it comes to decision making. You are not in the right state of mind to control marital affairs. But once you get married at the appropriate age, definitely you are going to run your marriage the right way. Marriage is not a pressing compound where only one person makes decision. No, marriage is or even the Bible said it that a man should leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and the two shall become one. So if the two of you are prepared for it and at the right state of mind and age, you guys are going to make a right decision. You guys are going to make a very, very perfect couples. That's my point.
Yeah, good.
Elijah, 1 minute, just 30 seconds, please. Just 30 seconds. We are discussing early marriage, and my colleagues, they are only focusing on only men with how women will be the one who will face disadvantage in a marriage. What if the woman is the really, what are you laughing? We keep stressing on only the women will not make decisions, this and that. Early marriage doesn't mean only men will go to the woman for marriage. No, we're discussing early marriage in general. So what in case this are coming
Let me hold you there. The thing is that when you are discussing a topic, you discuss like 75% of those that have been victimized. On the average, women are mostly victimized when it comes to these things. Number one reason why women are victimized is because of culture and tradition. So you have to take this into consideration. A boy in a family, nobody like a family coming up with a boy and a girl. Let's assume that this girl is in the family. Most I would be on her on what she can contribute to the family. Mostly if you are the oldest in the family, or God would be the oldest in the family, and the family will take into consideration. Let's put it in our common setting. In like bro, we say boys children are 40 years guarantee. But girls children, once you reach like 18, 20, they expect you to contribute to the family or responsibility and other field. So on the average, you notice that most of the women are involved. That is, women are pushed on the market when it comes to early marriage. Mostly by our setting now that we claim to have sugar daddies within the society. So women are mostly pushed to the society to bring in for their family, because what lead to this early marriage are low family budget. These are things that really push family that cause their girl children to be abused. So you should look at that on the average. Boy children are not pushed to the market, but mostly girl children are pushed into these things. So that's why we keep making emphasis on the female. Mostly we are making emphasis on female. I hope you get my point, Daniel.
Getting your point, though. I'm getting your point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Rennie, now listen to Rennie then. We are actually running out of time gradually. So we're going to get your point, and then we're going to allow the both of you to ask questions, cross-pollinated questions. Then we can probably take one or two questions from the audience. Then we can call this a day. So when we get a point from there, then from there we get cross-pollinated questions from both sides.
You know, a common in our labyrinth setting, right? For you and someone to be arguing, or you and someone to be having a discourse, and then the person lead the whole entire topic, they bring in something else. We are discussing, folks, family, those that are watching, do not get confused. We're not discussing early marriage, we're discussing early child marriage. They have child in the center. Early, then child, before the marriage. We're not discussing early marriage. If we're discussing early marriage, all what you have said, Daniel, you are right. If we are discussing early marriage, all what you have said, all what you have said, you are right. But we are discussing what? Early child marriage. So you have to get this. Domestic violence, men can face domestic violence in marriage because the men going ask for people that are in marriage, the people teenager in marriage. How can we be discussing early child marriage and then Daniel trying to compare his sister into that, or trying to give example of his sister? Your sister is not a child, to be honest, bro. Yeah. So we're discussing child, we're discussing on the average from 18 to 12 years old, or from 18 to 11 years old, or from 18 to 10 years old, right? Because with that age range, you can get people making all sorts of decisions. Like Princess, how you call it, right? They say, right? It can be due to what? To she said from the low family budget. For me, I would say ignorance, right? It is because of ignorance made back then our parents made those mistakes, right? But we're trying to correct, and that's why we're in the modern age, right? If you look at the historical era, we are in the modern era, right? In the modern era, you don't do that, bro. When you do that, people will castigate you. When you don't have no right to talk about early child marriage in the 60s. You do not know in the 60s, in the 90s, in the 80s, what have you, right? Or just in the 1900s and 1800s, you don't have no right to talk about early early child marriage, right? Because back then the men have a total control over the woman. Right now, you have people talking about feminism. Right now, you have people talking about what gender-based violence. Right. Right now, you are talking about what you hear people talking about advocating for women's rights. Right. So, Dana, you gotta take all of those things into consideration, and those are watching. Right. So that's the reason why we strongly disagree with the term early child marriage. We're discussing early child marriage, we're not discussing early marriage. And for the record, right, they will always tell you that you should be able to listen to your what, to a web in your home. So those of you that are talking about early marriage, Dana, you and your how you call it, your colleague Annie or Anne, right? You both have to see this and see reason to understand what we are saying, right? So there are a lot of disadvantages that will come in the early marriage. I shouldn't lie to you, my dear brother. It does not come on the man. It will come to the what? To the female. Because no man in the right side, that you and I are talking right now, right? You have no audacity to go with looking at your state in your standard right now. You have no audacity to go look at our teenager 18, 17, 16 years old, because you see how you call it, the mammary glands are stand on her chest. You see she got how you call it, bones or whatsoever, and then you just attract these men, right? Some of them we just nowadays we call them evil because they are evil doers, right? Because no man in his own right setting will do such, right? No correct man in his own right setting that thinks well and understand things well. So when we're talking about early child marriage, we're discussing from what? From the age 18 to that of 10 years old. That Dennis here, the moderator, will tell you right? We're not discussing about early marriage. Early marriage is different from early child marriage. So stop giving example when your sister be in the 20 range and then enjoying her marriage, my dear brother. It's not the same. The scenarios are not the same. The day we're having a discourse for early marriage, then you can bring that scenario in. So agree to what Princess said, right? Yeah, agree with what Princess said and agree with what I'm saying. I beg you for the sake of the audience and those that are watching, you gotta see this. The reason why people gearing out, people giving out, people or people advocating for people to not do what early child marriage. People can post it on the internet and saying that it is everybody. You post out on their page right now, my young man. People will strongly disagree with it. Right, so we should stick to the fact that it's not good. It's spoiling the girl child future. She need time to think time to be able to develop her IQ for her future. She need to go to school. She need to learn other things, right? If not informal education can do, right? So she need to learn other things and she need to take care of her body. How can you go manage for a 10-year-old child and say you marry a 10-year-old child? She don't know anything about taking care of her private part or properly, right? And you want to boast up about her in the home. Boast about her in in front of your friends in the modern day world we are living in, my young man. You gotta stop doing that. And for the record, right? People used to have to condone that because back then you will see on the justice when justice ministry it used to be let justice be done to all men, but they are changing it, right? To say let justice be done to all. So the equal right that you have on the face of the earth, that's the same thing women have. Women can partake into politics, women can go into business, women can go into educating other young people, doctors and whatsoever. Women can go in hunt and masonry work, carpentry. Women can do all of that, tailoring. Anything men can do, women can do the same thing nowadays. So the body right now you hear all the feminists, right? All the feminists are advocating according for 50-50 share, right? The same way you respect the woman, the same way you should respect the man. But some men don't take it that way. So my dear brother, I think it will be fair enough that the moderator clear out that we are discussing early child marriage. We're not discussing early marriage. The day we have early marriage discussion, then all what you have said, I will say, okay, to conclude, I agree with Daniel. But till then, my brother, we beat you in the argument already. There is no point to the other. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. I want to say welcome and want to say welcome to the exchange. You know, we will keep bringing up short stories and things to have young people educated, to see how best we can push the argument, to see how best we can educate people through this medium. That's why we'll always be here and bringing discussions and bringing about topics that affect the society. So today we are here. We're going to be taking at least 2 questions from both sides. 2 questions from both sides because of time fighters. Legon will be allowed to ask his opponents 2 questions, and his opponents are going to be allowed to ask him 2 questions as well. And because of time fighters, you have to go directly to the questions. And if you are listening to us or you are following the show, you can also send your questions through the comment section. We are not accepting call today because one of my phone is down, so there's no way to get call today. So if you are following, just send your questions through the comment section if you have a question. So we start with Legon. Legon, you can send your 2 questions, and then we can start from there.
Okay, let me say thank you to you, Elijah, and that of all of those who following. Let me say thank you to our viewers out there. Thank you ever so much for following us daily, Emmanuel Roberts. Thank you as always. You follow us. For me, I would say like I don't have a question in the sense that now I've understood that we are discussing early childhood marriage, and I'm totally against early childhood marriage. There is no way under the sun I will support childhood marriage. So there's no way I'll drop my arm because I was understanding the topic that says early marriage instead of early childhood. I mean early childhood marriage instead of early marriage. So I have dropped my arms, and let me give the floor to Rennie and Donna of Princess because I'm totally let the record keep me because we are on a platform. People will say, oh, once upon a time. A few months or a few years ago, that you are saying child marriage. No, I am totally against child marriage, but I'm in favor of early marriage. So thank you to Elijah Dennis for the moderation, and to my brother Rennie. You know, always fascinating exchanging ideas. Princess is always fascinating. Now we share ideas and make our audience understand the topics. Thank you. Elijah, your microphone is off. Elijah, your microphone is off.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I just noticed that. So we're going to turn over the pendulums to the other side to hear from them. Apparently, they might have one or two to say because our brother Legal have just given of they say giving all the goals or giving all what I don't know, but you guys have to say that properly. So we
No,
the discussion
they put a saying that says the man who run away have the chance to fight another battle. So who run away have a chance to fight another battle. But I just
Okay, thank you again. With that being said by my colleague Daniel Lingo, there's no question for him. Strongly believe that he was misunderstanding the topic because he just said it. For the benefit of the audience out there, to conclusively conclude, I'm encouraging you all, let us put an end to early child marriage. That we are where we are doesn't mean the world should crumble on us. We can still make a change. We can still be the change we want to see in our future. It is never too late for us to rewrite our decision. Those girls that we are sending to this early child marriage, they are definitely bringing up negative feedback. There are a lot of baby by chance and not by choice. There are a lot of unwanted pregnancy. There are a lot of teenage pregnancy. There are a lot of death rate when it comes to childbearing. So, family out there, you all, let us put an end to early child marriage. Remember that if you educate or get a child, what you are seeking for now, she's going to give you more than what you need now in the future. So it is better you educate the get child the proper way than for you to send her into an early marriage, because an early marriage comes with too much responsibility, unwanted responsibility. That is responsibility that a get child is not prepared and fit to honor goals. So as a family and a presenter tonight, I'm encouraging you all, or mother or father, brother, sister, or uncle, please stop forcing your girls' children into early marriage. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Princess H. Williams here. I'm going to listen to Renee.
Yeah, it was an interesting time today, and the people from the other side just made our argument. You know, they make it. I mean, just put in the choreograph. They do it juicy for, yeah, because everything that we say, the conversation was okay, and I just enjoy the way. I enjoy the part that the moderator played for the record, right? The moderator was just acting, acting like, the other side were engaging on early marriage, and the moderator, the moderator was not telling them to stick to the topic, It was just going. But as soon as I came and I dropped that bombshell, I mean, my man Daniel, come on, he said he drop it. Again. So all the time, I ask the question go to Daniel. All the time that her name, Comrade Princess was stressing the point and giving you, laying out the premises on my early child marriage is not okay. So you didn't agree with her. I should come to the conclusion where you agree with her, man. Don't do that thing to the girl, brother. I beg you, because I just emphasize the words and for the record, that Dennis and my colleagues on the show, for those that are watching Radio Land and on the internet, the issue of child marriage, you know what these men will do? These men will take the people, little children, and put them in the homes, and at the end of the day, when they finish doing, I just call that whole entire scenario molesting. When they finish molesting these children, then what they'll do is they will leave them, and then they go for an elderly woman. and they'll bring the elderly woman in the home. As soon as they bring the elderly woman in the home, trust me, you and the elderly woman, no matter how tall you can be, you're still a little girl. So an elderly woman will have edge over you, and then she will use you in the home and then at the end of the day, things will turn out. So let us say no to early child marriage, and some way somehow say yes to early marriage. That know you happy now, right? Some way somehow say yes to early marriage, but say no to early child marriage, right? So we look forward to all of the more of these topics, right? Coming and debating the issue, not not going personal or whatsoever. But yeah, that one thing I love the exchange for social, bringing a lot of good topics, to the audience to interact with them. Yeah, so forget about all what is going around. Just keep following the platform, share and share and share and share more, right? Yeah, so we need to get our voices out there. We are strongly advocating against early child marriage because of the domestic violence that have been placed in the home and then in honor of these parents. But I just want us to take or take on this for let's say 2 minutes, and I will give Priscilla time to talk on it, Daniel Lincoln to also talk on it, right? Yeah, but when it comes to the early child marriage, I don't see any Christian parent putting that child or children into it. I haven't seen it. So I don't know whether you guys have seen it before, but for my side, I will tell you honestly that the Muslims have been doing it. Yeah, I'm on record for that. I'm not going to say, oh, I hold my ball back. Nobody. The Muslims are on record, but I'm not seeing any Christian parent doing that. Yeah, so I don't know whether you
Yeah.
guys have seen Christian parent doing that. You can speak to it, please.
Yeah, so thank you so much. If you have been following the Discord, we want to say thank you to the exchange. Thank you for following the exchange, and we hope and pray that you keep sharing the exchange. Tomorrow we're going to be here again with the exchange giveaway. Tomorrow is Sunday. Good. Yes, tomorrow is Sunday. So we'll be here again tomorrow with the exchange giveaway. You can come and make your calls and get your trash car, and the list goes on. So like we said, right? We are not here. We are not fighting with each other. We are here to share ideas. One thing I usually say to young people is, if you are calling yourself an educated man or an educated woman, then you must have the spine, you must have the ability to give back to the young people or to give back to people what you have achieved, right? That is a clear definition of someone calling themselves educated men or educated woman. So the fact that if we cannot do things with society, if we cannot do things that we have done sufficient to have good ability to give back to society, then I don't know. So that's why they change every week to see our best from our system. So, get an idea, get the most interesting stuff out there. So we're going to get a word of motivation from all of our panelists. Start with legal princess from princess, let's say Rennie, they'll people they draw that back out. So we start with legal. Legal, are you following? I think Legal has an internet problem. So, Princess, we start with you.
Okay, thank you again. Before we cut this a day, I would like to encourage everyone viewing or listening by Radio Land. Let us try to put an end to early child marriage. Let us try to educate our girls' children. Remember, if you educate the girls' children, you educate a whole nation. And let us all remember that the society depends on us. It's not about what the society can give you, but it's about what you can bring to the society positively. The change we want to see is not in a foreign land, it is right within us as individuals. We can only see this change if we try to put our knees down and get the ball rolling. So together we all can do this, and I'm here always and I'm 100% available to discuss issue as it comes to the importance and the essence of youth and the well growth of our youth sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it was nice being with you on this Exchange Forum Social Hour tonight. The name remains the same. I'm Princess Ishwila, a Liberian based in India. Thank you all.
Thank you. As you just listen to Princess giving her conclusion on the topic today. We'll take Rennie and then we'll call this a day. Rennie.
Yeah, it was a fascinating conversation we had today, and so we started with a tough one, but we ended on a very full footing. And I want to thank and applaud my colleague Princess for outstanding performance today. Yeah, she did extremely well. It is my very first time serving on the same server, and I chose the IQ. Princess, thank you so much for that, and I look forward to having more of these discussions. And from my end, I just want to tell everyone that follows the programs to keep following the program and keep giving a contribution to the comment section. And as we place the number on the screen, you can use the call. Follow the show tomorrow for exchange giveaway, and follow next week for another fascinating topic on the Exchange Forum Social Hour. I'm Chairman Renin Arakana, and I close with this. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. Thanks.
We're going to take Dana. Dana will listen to you for your own conclusion on today's show.
Yeah, let me say thank you to you, Dr. Dennis, and Princess Williams, and that of Chairman Rennie for this fascinating topic. And I said it from the previous that I'm looking forward to see this topic very educative and fascinating, and surely it was. So we did what we have to do, and it was very, very much. And also looking forward to getting these kind of topics and lecturing us and our followers who keep following. We say thank you for keep following us, keep sharing, keep inviting others to join, to view or watch the Exchange Social Hour, because we are here to elaborate on so many social discussions and topics that are relating to our well-being as a human and to our daily lives. So I say thank you ever so much. Thank you. I remain Daniel God's Favor Lincoln, and I'm the phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for following the show as you listen to our panelists concluding today on today's edition of the Exchange. We also want to add our voices to their voice and then say you are welcome. Keep sharing the show. Princess, want to say thank you for your tireless effort. Daniel, Rennie, want to say thank you. You know, it's not easy to take your 1 hour, your 2 hours to come and discuss issues that's going to help brighten the minds of young people and strengthen the society. So other than we want to say thank you and we want to say bye-bye and bye-bye for now. This is how we draw down curtains on today's edition of the show, the Exchange Career Hour. So I want to say bye-bye and bye-bye for now.